Now let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris for more. Misty, given these new details about Nick Reiner's condition, is it possible he could plead not guilty by reason of insanity?
It's certainly possible, and I'm sure his defense team is looking into whether or not that is the way to go, which requires a lot of expert input as far as mental health conditions, as well as review of his condition leading up to that night. So it's certainly something that could be raised. However, it is a very, very high bar in California. The rule requires a showing by the defense that the individual did not know what they were doing was wrong, did not know the nature and consequences of their actions. So it's a very, very high standard, but certainly something I'm sure the defense is contemplating giving these new facts.
And Misty, how does this affect the case for prosecutors?
So prosecutors, if there's an insanity defense raised, the burden is actually shifted to the defense to establish that the individual had a mental disease or defect and that they were legally insane at the time the crime was committed. Prosecutors will largely focus on whatever evidence there is with respect to premeditation. Is there evidence that shows this individual was acting knowingly and deliberately? They'll also look to the after, which is really important. Were they taking steps to cover up the crime, which would undercut an argument that they didn't know what they did was wrong?
And Misty, briefly to look ahead, Nick Reiner's arraignment is scheduled for January 7th, just over 2 weeks from now. Could it get delayed further?
It could. The defense could need more time to explore these mental health defenses and potentially put in a plea, or there could be a competency issue. Does he understand the nature of the charges, and can he assist in his own defense? That's another legal issue looking at his mental state right now. So this is a really complicated case, a lot of twists and turns here.
Thanks for helping us make sense of it, Misty Marris. Thank you.